Yo, hello ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. We're back at it into another weekly markup. First and foremost, we're gonna get started right away into GBPUSD. You can pause it and read it right here. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish, trending bearish, daily bearish, H4, H1 bearish. Let's hop into the monthly. Monthly is bullish, support respected above 132, previous monthly bullish engulfing candle, and then possible longs back to 138. So it is still bullish on the monthly. The previous candle is a bullish engulfing candle. So actually long term this could literally just be a pullback to continue bullish. And as you can see, price has been trading between 138 and 132. Previous area of support, previous area of supply or resistance. And then on the weekly we're bullish turning bearish because after we tested this previous area of supply at 136,500, look at this, instant reaction, and then we had a bearish engulfing candle. And then we hop into the daily, look at this. So you just look at the structure, don't even look at the candles. The lower high, and then price boom. This was the push that broke structure. So this is a strong area of supply. Price continued melting to the test of 132, which is a previous area of strong supply and demand, which we already know it's a key level. And look at this, strong buys before, we respected the strong buys above. So I literally saw we could have gotten in buys right above 132, and I missed them. And we had multiple days to enter this fucking trade, bro. But look at this, the move instantly happened. And we came and targeted this previous high, which had broken structure before, and then boom, it was strong again, it broke structure again. Look at this. So now this is looking like a lower high. We're gonna see how the market opens later, but this potential move could happen, or this potential move could happen. So both of these pushes are 180 pips. TP1 would be 150, but main target is gonna be 200. But both of them would be 100 pip positions. But now look at this, bearish engulfing candle, and now this is looking like it's forming a lower high. So we're bearish on the daily, we're bullish turning bearish on the weekly, and then on the H4, H1 we're also bearish. Now let's hop into the H4. So you can see previous area of support, price broke below, huge bearish engulfing candle, lower high and lower high. We could even enter in the market right as soon as the market opens. 50 pips, TP1, so that's a 1 to 2 for the first TP, but I'll still be holding all the way to 132. Just you know that you take some profit here at 113 pips. How are we looking on the 1 hour? We're still, you know what, if we could get a bearish engulfing candle below here, and maybe even a smaller time frame lower high, because I mean even then it could still melt from here. Just an extra little confirmation, just so that way we don't enter right away when the market opens, and we wait for the actual bearish engulfing candle and the lower high, which could pop, most likely will happen during London session. Fucking ads, bro. So actually that actually makes sense. On the 1 hour and 30 minute you can see, because price had trouble breaking below this, and even then I would actually want price to break even below this low, because look at this low, it has some strength to the upside. So maybe we could break below. We're gonna have that strength to the downside. Or price could literally do a fake out too. It could literally just do something like this. So actually, you know what? Let me set an alert here, because the price is gonna do something at this zone. I already know it. So now we just have to wait for what it does. Are we gonna get the buys at it, or are we gonna get the sells below it? But we're still bearish, so I would much rather see the bearish engulfing candle. If we could get a huge bearish engulfing candle engulfing these two zones, we'd be solid. An extra little confirmation. But then again, honestly, sales are, if this 1 hour candle closes like this, it should already continue selling, because we are below the zone. We're creating a lower high, and this will be an extra confirmation of a bearish engulfing candle. So we just gotta see how the market opens. Next, we gotta do GJ, monthly bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish, H4H1 bullish, GJ. So you always want to start up on the monthly. Overall bullish, you can already see, like for the past weeks, for the past months. Bullish engulfing candle, support respected above 180. Previous area of strong supply turned into new demand over here. Huge bullish engulfing candle above it, and the higher low above 195. And then again, area of strong supply, and another area of strong supply at 208. Price broke above it, bullish engulfed it, and created a higher low to continue to the next target, which is 215, which is another area of strong supply, which we already rejected, as you can see. But we're not showing any bearish momentum off of it. We're still overall bullish, because prices tested it only to create a higher low, and now we're back at it. Most than likely, higher time frame wise, we're gonna run through this and create a higher low above 215 and continue to the upside, because we have even more highs to clear. You can see all these highs at 240. This could be a huge push, 2,000 pip push, and we could potentially get in buys above 215. And you know that those buys have potential to go for 2,000 pips, so you hold. It's like if you would have taken the buys here above 195 or the buys above 208. You know that these levels, even the sells, even you could have taken these sells here, 500 pips. These key levels are very important, and we're approaching it right now, like 215. Because even if we don't get the buy above, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get the sell below, and this could actually be a higher time frame. What does this look like? Could be a higher time frame head and shoulder pattern. We just have to wait for that right shoulder or the bullish engulfing candle above. It's just two scenarios, that's it. So now we have to wait. We're bullish on the weekly, we're bullish on the daily. Yeah, everything is bullish. We were somewhat turning bearish here after the bearish engulfing candle on the lower highs, but then price respected its previous area of support, creating another lower high and another higher low, my mistake. And as you can see, we could already stretch out here of another uptrend. And now this little area of supply and demand, or support and resistance, looks like it's about to get broken. So this, I believe this move is about to happen right here. And on the 4 hour, we're bullish, higher lows, bullish uptrend, and this resistance zone is already looking a little weak. But then again, for how price is, it could literally start melting from here. On the 1 hour, look at this, on the 1 hour we're already selling below. That's why I would like to see the bullish engulfing candle above here, and then maybe we could continue to the upside to take out all of these people right here. And now there's buyers all the way in here too as well. You know where price could pull back into? If it does decide to pull back, it might pull back into here to continue bullish. That's how annoying price is. respecting the area of supply or resistance, and now people are going to be thinking that it's really a resistance zone. So let's say they enter their sells here, creating liquidity above this zone. Let's say targeting these highs, these lows down here, but then price only comes down to here, and then here we create another higher low, and now price is doing something like this. And the more you test the zone, boom, it's like a bomb being set up. So actually I think something like this is exactly going to play out. We might get a small drop, faking out the sellers, because we already see that off every test. The first test was strong, the second test was strong too, but it didn't break the first push. The second test, look, it didn't break the last push, and we're just only going to continue to get weaker. The more you test the zone, the weaker that it becomes. That's why you want to enter the buys, let's say at a support zone or a resistance zone, off of the second or third test. Like if you would have taken these buys, the second test would have been the good sells, the good buys. Or over here, the second or the third test would have been the good sells. Over here is already fourth, and over here is going to be fifth and sixth, and it's just only going to be creating liquidity. All of this right here, right? The stop losses. But then again, we also have stop losses here, and some dudes might be like that. There's gonna be trades. There's gonna be people in trades like this. So market might come and take them out. Fake. Even we could even do a slight fake out here. I've seen price do that. It fakes out that this is gonna be a previous low turn into it's gonna fake out that it's gonna break below this previous low and turn into a lower high, and then boom, the push happens. And this all happens on the smaller time frames, like on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, it just wicks. But it's manipulation, bro. It just comes with time and experience. So now we just have to, and GJ is one of the most manipulated pairs. So we just have to. That's why it's most importantly to wait. So I would much actually just rather wait for price to reach 215, and then at 215 we're either gonna have the sells or we're gonna have the buys above. But on GJ, I would say we're just going to wait. Maybe look for a trade here. Something like this, or something like that. But for now we're waiting, even though we're bullish. Next we gotta do USDCAD. Monthly bearish turning bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish, H4H1 bullish, fully bullish on USDCAD. Well, almost fully bullish. So you can see on the monthly. On the monthly we are still bearish because we are below still 139. As you can see, 139 previous area of supply, and once we are above it, that's turned into a previous area of demand, and we're currently below it. As you can see, previous lower high and bearish engulfing candle after we tested it. But then again, price is also respecting this previous area of support, which is 135,500. As you can see, tested it once and flew right back above 139, and then broke back below, and then tested it again, and then we tested again 139. So these zones are bouncing off of each other. 135,500 to 139. Maybe at 139 we're gonna have the sales back to 135,500, or we could get the bullish engulfing candle finally, and we could continue back to the upside. So we are bearish still. I wouldn't call USDCAD bullish till we maybe have like a monthly bullish engulfing candle above here, above 139, and we actually do see some higher lows, some bullish structure above 139. Then it will be turned bullish, because right now, higher time frame wise, look, price already failed to break above these highs above 146, and then we do have the huge bearish engulfing candle below 139. And then after we tested 135,100, we created this high right here above 139, and then after we tested 135,100 again, we failed to even break this high, so this is already showing lower highs, so we're still bearish, right? So we would have to break some previous lower highs and start creating some higher lows for us to be considered bullish. That's why it's a bearish turning bullish. So now on the weekly we are bullish though, because obviously the support has already been respected. We already have a higher low above it, and then look at this, we have a huge weekly bullish engulfing candle, and then now this weekly candle, it does look like it's gonna close with another bullish engulfing candle. So now price is literally just on its way to 139. On the daily, you can see on the daily we had a previous area of supply here. Price failed to break above for a while, but then, like I said again, the more you test the zone, the weaker that it becomes. One test, second test, the third test was literally the best entry. Look at this. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, creating the higher low, a test above 135, which we already know that higher time frame wise, it's a strong area of supply and demand. Price did another test, creating the higher low, showing the weakness. Look, we even had another small push down here, and then boom, to the upside. How the fuck did I miss these buys? This was, it was on Friday. So this move happened on Friday, and the market opened here, but the main entry was on a Friday. Fudge. But look at this, 1 test, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we tested the zone 5 times, and then boom, we ran through it. The more you test the zone, the more likely that it's gonna get ran through. The more that it looks like a resistance or a support zone, that's what I'm telling you, you gotta be careful. The higher time frame will always outweigh the smaller time frames. Now on the daily, we are looking bullish engulfing candle, and the higher low above 137,500 and above this previous zone. Literally the next target would be this high right here, and it's still 50 pips away, so we're still bullish. Then on the 4 hour, we ranged for a bit right here, but now we even broke above the range and created a higher low above the range, as you can see. Continuing, so I do believe we're gonna come test this zone. Maybe at this zone we're gonna have a pullback back down, or if we do could continue, if the bullish momentum could continue, we could have the bullish engulfing candle and a higher low above this to continue clearing even more highs above. So we could actually have a potential trade here at 138,600. So now we just have to wait for price to reach 138,600 because we already missed out on the buys. The correct buys should have been literally here. Look at this. After the price broke above the previous area of supply, bullish engulfing candle, and we created a higher low. We could have even entered right here. Would have gotten into some drawdown, 10 pip drawdown, but with the correct stop loss, you would have been fine. And I would have still been targeting all of these highs. And look, the trade would have already been up 90 pips. And this move happened on Thursday at, you had an entry from 2 to 2. So you had a 12-hour window to enter this trade, and on a Thursday. Wow. It sucks missing out on a trade. But now we just have to wait for price to reach to this zone. And we're either going to come back and stop out the buyers after we test this previous area of supply and demand, or price is going to continue bullish and continue create the higher low above and continue to the top. Now let's get into UJ. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish, H4H1 bullish, range, which is consolidation or consolidating. And I was in buys, but then I closed because actually the last video that I did, I talked about being in buys. So I had that entry somewhere right here, and prices ranged the whole freaking week, dude. I still think that price is gonna continue bullish, so maybe we could get an entry here. But then basically missed out on the full move. Literally, entry should have been right above 158,500. That's exactly where the entry should have been. And actually, we would have already been up 60 pips. Very similar to the USDCAD setup. But actually, now honestly, we just have to wait for price to reach 160. At 160, we could have either a pushback down or a break above bullish engulfing candle and the higher low to continue bullish. Literally, you just have to wait. And then on the 1 hour, you can see a lot of range. But usually, after all of this range, the bigger the range, the bigger the move is gonna be afterwards. So maybe this move actually is gonna be the full push to the upside, or maybe we can have a potential push to the downside today and clear everything to the upside. But I would rather this happen. It's just a waiting game, dude. I would have been fine if I would have been in biases like here. But then again, more than likely, I would have set my stop loss a break even. That would have been 50 pips. Price would have came back, stopped me at a break even, and continued bullish. But then again, why would I have put in my stop loss at break even if TP1 is still not even hit? TP1 would be 160. So actually, I should have still been in the trade. We could have even added entries. Actually, we get a bullish engulfing candle and a higher low above this zone. Very similar to the USDCAD setup. We could get potential buys above here. Now we just have to wait, literally. Last but not least, NZDCAD, monthly bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish, is for each one bullish. You can pause it and read it. NZDCAD. So we were bearish, right? After all these lower highs, price did break below 0.80. But look, we failed to keep on breaking highs below 0.78,500. We respected it as a support, and then we also respected this bullish trend. And look at this monthly bullish engulfing candle above 0.80. Now we hop into the weekly. On the weekly, we have a huge bullish engulfing candle above 0.80, the higher low above 0.80, and then we have targets to clear at 0.82,500. And then on the daily, we do have this area of supply and demand, which price already respected, and it did test, which is 0.81,400. You can see it gave us 100 pips to the downside. Then to the upside, it gave us another 100 pips. The price looks like it's on its way to it. 50 pips away. All we have to do is just wait for price to reach it on the 4 hour. But now on the 4 hour, look at this. On the 4 hour, we're testing another previous zone. And we're already turning bearish. What the? So actually on the, you know what? I would not say that we're bearish. Even though we are creating lower highs till we break below this. But then again, the more you test the zone, the weaker it becomes, and we're about to test it again. So we might if we create a lower high after testing this, then for sure prices are running through this back down. So we just have to wait for price we just have to wait for price to react to this zone. How is it gonna react to it? It's very similar. We just literally have to wait. Is it gonna do this, or is it gonna do this? Because if you just enter in bias right now, you could get stopped out. Look at this. The first push was strong. price tested it again, it wasn't as strong. It created a lower high. So what makes you think that the next test is going to be strong, right? So we have to just wait. And then obviously price is also dropping from here because it's respecting a previous area of supply and demand. As you come over here, previous area of supply gave us a drop. Previous area of demand gave us a push. Previous area of demand gave us a push. And then remember, previous areas of demand will turn into new supply. Especially, look at this. We had this huge push to the upside, very impulsive, and then boom, the same push to the downside, very impulsive. So actually, this would have been a really good trade position for the sell. And now back over here, price is really choppy and rangy over here. And now, actually, you know what? Yes, I would not be looking for buys just yet. I would wait for price to reach above this zone again, because that's a strong area of demand, and then we'll be looking for buys there. If not, then we're just waiting. This is how you avoid the losses and shit. So it's either this, the buys above 0.81, or the sells below 0.700. After price tests it, and after price creates another lower high, right? You want price to start creating the lower highs to continue back down, to actually show that buyers are not in control and sellers are really in control. So literally, all we have to do is just wait. You could have technically gotten in sales here after you notice the lower high and the test below 0.81, which is a previous strong area of supply and demand. But I missed that. I missed this trade. Literally, you could have already been something like this. And then this push would have been the push that comes back and tries to stop out people who already got into sales. And it stopped out from here to here, but then these guys are still in. And actually, this would have been a really good position. What the heck? Especially after price. Look at this. On the 1 hour, bearish engulfing candle. Tested previous area of supply. So if price was really going to be bullish, it was going to be after this. Previous area of supply normally turns into demand, and it failed to keep on breaking highs above here to create a lower high. And now we're already about to test the zone again. So actually, you know what? On the H4, H1, we're bullish. Turning bearish. Because price did fail to keep on breaking highs above 0.81. I'm not a pro typer, I'm a pro trader. So actually, yes, this is actually looking really good. I would not enter the buys till I see another bullish engulfing candle above this zone right here. And actually, the sells are actually looking more valid now. And then again, if we see a bearish engulfing candle below here, I mean, even if we don't see it, if price tests this zone again and creates another lower high, price is melting all the way back to 0.80. And then maybe at 0.80 we could have another trade. Either something like this to continue to the upside, or maybe price breaks below 0.80 and continue to the downside. That's all that can happen, and all we have to do is just wait. Patience, pace. So now let's just wait for price to reach this level right here, this golden level at 0.700. I mean, the market opens later on, so we're gonna see how this plays out. Peace and love to anybody watching this. I command you health, wealth, knowledge, wisdom for you and your entire family. Peace and love.